Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. Hi, I'm Sarah Jane. I'm taking the next 4 months off to write my second book. Thought it would be fun to do this as a day in the life of a full-time writer. What does a writing day in my life look like? What does my current writing process look like on like a day-to-day level? We're gonna move to voiceover Sarah Jane, and she'll take you through the rest of the video, and I will see you at the end. I hope you enjoy. I apologize in advance for any background noise that you might hear. My neighbors are having a party right now, so that's just what we're working with. I am starting off the morning with journaling. Normally I would do this around 6 a.m., although I was filming today, and so I kind of just saved it until everyone had already left for the day so that we had some good light to film in. But I'm just free writing, getting my thoughts out. This is really important to me when it comes to the writing process because it gets all of my like anxiety thoughts, all of my like non-creative thoughts out and helps to clear my mind to be open to even receiving ideas. And I also think that sometimes in this I'll get kind of word pairings or certain phrases that I really enjoy that I want to build off of. So it's kind of the most non-negotiable part of my morning, in my opinion. Like, it really sets me up and helps me to feel grounded and connected and ready to go. The next thing that I do is I spend a little bit of time reading. So right now I'm reading Memorial by Brian Washington. It's a really good book. Usually reading for me is not only something that I have a general goal to do, like I just have a reading goal for myself every day and this is a good time for me to fit it in, but also reading to me gives me other ideas. Like I might read a scene in a novel and think about how that could apply to what I'm working on, or I might notice certain ways of like building a story that I might be inspired by. So reading to me is also a really important part of the process, especially if I'm reading a good book or honestly even reading a bad book. You can kind of get an idea of like what you don't like and what you want to try to avoid as you're working on your pieces. And then I just did some yoga today because I do yoga every day. And I honestly think like bringing it back to writing, like writing is kind of a sedentary activity. You sit a lot and I just want to take care of my body and make sure she feels, supported and loved and comfortable throughout the day. So yoga is a big part of that for me. And then I clean up. Cleaning is the next part of my phase because I don't want there to be anything that could distract me from what I want to do. So for me, that is a lot of like doing the dishes so that I'm not tempted to do the dishes when I'm supposed to be writing. So just getting all of that out of the way first thing in the morning is so helpful. That, and I like to make sure that the dishes are clean and make sure our bedroom is clean. That's like the sweet spot for me. It just makes me feel like our life is in order and I can relax. And I'm just proving to you guys once again that I do in fact drink water because there will be a lot of coffee in this video and water is part of my life as well. Here's proof. All right, so once I have gotten myself settled, I've had breakfast, I've had water, I've had my coffee and my writing and my yoga, like all of that stuff is out of the way. The house is tidied up. Now it is time for me to meditate. I like to meditate for 5 to 15 minutes in the morning, depending on the day. If the weather's nice, I will do that outside. If it is not, I will do it inside. And today I just did a quick 5 minutes of silence. And I don't really put the pressure on myself to clear my mind necessarily at this point, especially thinking about writing a book. I'm really focused on what does my brain want to tell me about what I'm writing today? And so I actually meditate, quote unquote, to get ideas. So usually in this time, I get a spark of inspiration. It's in that moment where either a certain sentence will come to me, or a certain concept will come to me, or maybe I'll notice something or have a memory of something that points me back to whatever I happen to be writing about that day. And I typically end this session just ready to go. Like, I am ready to write. I know what I'm going to write about. It really is just those like 5 to 15 moments of silence that make me open to receiving, that I feel like make something click for me. So this particular morning, that all happened. I made myself some tea afterwards, and then I sat down to write. In this morning writing session, it's really just about getting the ideas out there more than it is about creating a polished, finished piece. So this particular day, I actually worked on 3 different essays, all kind of all around the same Enneagram type, but 3 different pieces. And I just kind of put all the thoughts I had out onto the page. And then I kind of know I'll go back and I'll make it better later. But I really just need to get the ideas out. I don't hold myself to a specific writing time. The way that my mind works and the way that my process works is I just sit down and I work until I can't work anymore. So typically I would say that's about 30 minutes to an hour, if I'm honest, when it comes to the writing process. This particular day, I think it took me about 45 minutes. I just sat down and dumped everything out that was in my mind from my moment of silence. Let's go to therapy. Ta-da. And after therapy, I went out, took myself out for a quick lunch at Session Cafe in Asheville. Just got myself a little sandwich and wrote out my journaling, like my reflection from therapy. This is another thing where I'm about to start another writing session, but if I don't process everything that I talked about or thought about in therapy, then my brain can't really focus on the things I need to be focusing on. And so just taking this 30-minute window to have a nice lunch, to journal out everything that I'm kind of experiencing with therapy or processing in my personal life gives me the creative energy and the creative space to focus on what I need to be working on, which is the book. But honestly, I believe that if I didn't do this, if I didn't clear my head this way, then it would just be harder for me to focus on the actual work that I need to do. And then I just took a little walk. I tried to slow down, to notice things on my way to where I was going, and just pay a little bit closer attention just to see if there's anything that would inspire me or that I would want to write about. I actually went to where Obi works and sat on the patio and just took my time writing out there. At this stage, this kind of session, I'm really going into those essays that I kind of put all of this information down, and I'm going in and I'm making it better. I'm just kind of saying, okay, I have all of these thoughts and ideas, but how do I organize them in such a way that tells a story and actually makes the point I want to make and sounds good? And can I replace some of these kind of cliche phrases and put in some more detailed phrases that aren't as commonly used and just actually describe what I'm trying to say? So that's what I focused on here on this patio. And on the way back to my car, I saw Obi's car and dropped him a little love note on the windshield. Just a quick pop in because I didn't film this because it would have been a little bit awkward too, I think. One of the parts of writing for me is that I read literally everything that I write to Obi. Oftentimes as soon as I finish writing it. So today I was writing at his work And I just kind of waited until he got off, and we went and sat on a park bench together, and I read him what I had written that day, and it was so nice. He's such a good teammate in that way. Some days it's so sweet because he's working on a writing piece and he can read to me and I can read to him, and it makes me feel like we're like living our dream life. My plan for the afternoon was to go take myself out on a little date, get some inspiration, do something out of the ordinary for myself. I was thinking I would go to the art museum, but the art museum actually doesn't let you film inside. And I kind of thought I would rather do that on a day that I'm not vlogging, so it can be something I appreciate rather than something that I feel restricted by. So instead, I decided to look at my bucket list for the month of October, and one of the items on the list was to get one of my favorite desserts and enjoy it somewhere nice. And I actually used to do marketing for this place in Asheville, French Broad Chocolates, and I remembered their mocha stout cake, which was my absolute favorite thing to both eat and photograph. So I went there, I bought a couple of chocolate bars, one for me and one for Obes, and I just read my book and had some cake, and it was so nice. After that, I went to one of my favorite bars, Little Jumbo. I have not been drinking alcohol lately because I think I've turned 35 and hangovers like are hitting me even if I have just one drink. So I don't really prefer to drink at this moment, but I do really like this space and I wanted to like kind of treat myself. So I just grabbed a glass of sparkling rosé and sat up and worked on another essay. So for this particular essay, I did the same thing. I took the kind of brain dump from the morning and I went ahead and edited it, made it work, made it something comprehensible. And this one particularly actually featured a friend of mine, and so I made sure to send it to him and see if he felt comfortable with me putting it in the book. It didn't use his name or anything, but he said it was fine. And yeah, I just enjoyed this beautiful bar and got to sit down and enjoy writing out the second essay. Again, these writing sessions for me, this is writing session number 3, and it's just like 30 minutes to an hour. That's like honestly the amount that I have to really give something good. Once I get past that point, I don't have much more to give. So that's kind of how it's working for me at the moment. Once I finished up this essay, I went ahead and outlined what I was going to write the next day because I needed to write the introduction to the chapter. And so I just went ahead and took a second and outlined that so that I was all set. So all of that brings us to right here. It's about 5 p.m., 5:07, and I'm just getting home. I'm going to just decompress, spend the rest of the night with the family, have dinner, do normal stuff. But that's all the writing I'm going to do for the day. That's about the gist of it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Maybe we could do like an editing day in my life so you can see what the editing process looks like. I edit on Tuesday. So if that's something that you're interested in, just let me know in the comments below, or we'll get that editing video out to you as well. And if you liked today's video as well, you could like or subscribe. I don't know. That's up to you. See you next time.